All right, we're going to left off at 32, and this is another big one, a trinomial by a trinomial. Okay, let's be careful with this. So we got d squared, right? We're going to distribute d squared to these three terms. So that's going to be 2d to the fourth. Okay. That's going to be a negative 3d cubed. Then d squared by 2 would be a positive 2d squared. All right. Now I'm going to do 6d. 6d and 2d squared would be a positive 12d to the third. Then we're going to do a 6d and a negative 3d. So that's going to be a negative 18d squared. Next one is 6 and 2 would be a positive 12d. And I've got three more terms. I'm basically distributing a negative 1. That'll be a quick one. Just everything is going to become opposite, right? All right, and then we got a negative 2. Now our job is to carefully go ahead and combine like terms. So we'll start with this one by itself, right? Then the next one's going to be to the third. So let's see, we've got this one, right? Negative 3 to the third. And then I believe we have a 12d. So that's going to be a 9d to the third. You hear my doggies in the background? All right. Okay. Next is going to be the d squares. All right, now that we got the d thirds, we're going to go for the squared ones, right? So we got a positive 2d, right? We got a negative 2d squared. So they kind of cancel each other out. And we're left with a negative 18d squared, right? Then we got the d's left. We got a 12d and a 3d, so that's going to be 15d. And then the lonely constant, and we're done. All right. Those just take a lot of time and to be careful. All right, with the division. Division, guys, is going to just be 2 division problems because I'm distributing the 6 to both terms. So it's just like too many problems, basically. So 6 goes into 18, 3x cubed. Now a 6 over a 6. Anything over itself is 1. Not 0. They don't cancel each other out. They turn into a 1. Okay. Next, we're going to distribute this 2x squared to all the terms on the top. Okay. So you're just going to have 3 little mini problems where you're going to use the exponent rule. Okay. All right, so we distributed. So now all we're going to do is we're going to simplify. All right, 2 goes in the 6. 3 times x5, x2 would be x cubed. Now we're going to do this one. 2 went into 12 6 times. x4, x2 would be x squared. Okay, 2 goes into 20, 10, negative 10. And then x3 minus x2 would be an x. Alright, now we're going to do the polynomial rules, okay? They're a little different. Alright, let's see if we remember some of these. We'll do a few of these and then I'll make one more tape, okay? So we got 4 times negative 6, which is going to be a negative 24, right? X negative 9, negative 5 would be x to the negative 4, right? Now, the only thing that has a negative exponent is this. That's the only thing that goes on the bottom, okay? That's it. Next one, 4. That cubed is being distributed to the 4, to the x. And then if you remember, power of the power rule is we're going to multiply these. I don't know why I put a 5. It should be a y, right? Okay. All right. So that would be an x cubed y to the 15th. 4 cubed, guys, is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. You should know your cubes. Okay, y to the 15th. Alright, now we have a division problem, okay? So with the division, you're going to use the exponent rules for division, which is subtraction. But the first thing you have is 6 over 18, right? 6 over 18 reduces to 1/3. And look, we have an A and a B and a C and a D. Nothing is in common. The only thing I would do, though, is you don't want a negative exponent, so that A to the 3rd goes to the bottom. The C to the negative 4th goes to the top. They remain positive now since we flipped them. Anything to 0 power is 1, so B, that would just be a 1. And then we have a D here, okay? All right. Next rule, again, 4 and 8 are just coefficients. So we're going to just divide them like normal. So 4 goes into A 2 times. X is 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3 would be 5, right? And then the Y's. There's a 1 there, right? That's negative 2 minus 1. So keep, change, whatever you do is going to make that a negative 3, right? We have 3 terms. The only one that's negative is the Y. So that is the one that goes on the bottom. All right. 2x, that's supposed to be a 5. Kind of had to squeeze it in there. All right, 39. You're going to take your coefficients, 4, 6, and 2, and you're going to multiply them, which would give me a 48. Now I'm going to take like terms. I got y9, negative 4. I'm multiplying, so I basically add them, right? And then you have the z to the 7th, and I am done. All right, next one. I'm going to take that negative 2, and I'm going to distribute it to the 5. So 5 to the negative 2nd power. And then a power of a power I multiply. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Hey, they're both negative, right? So they're both going on the bottom. Well, 5 squared on the bottom is just 25. And then n to the 6th. Okay. All right, I'm going to pause it. We're doing one more tape.